What's a harsh reality that everybody needs to hear? Children's first bullies are often their parents. Your life can be changed forever in the blink of an eye. You have to deal with it or die. I'm 62. I went to run errands one day with my beautiful wife of 42 years and I came home 2 hours later a widower. She died of a massive heart attack in the passenger seat. That was about 13 months ago. It's been hard, but I'm still here thanks to some wonderful people in my life. It won't just happen. I spent a lot of my early 20s being sad and defeatist, feeling sorry for myself. I always coped with this by telling myself that I'd make something of myself eventually, and meet a woman eventually, and be happy eventually. The truth is, eventually doesn't come if you don't make it come. Improvement has to be proactive. You can end up 40 years old, living with your parents, playing video games all day, and with no motivation. Nothing will prevent that from happening other than you. Most people should not be on social media of any kind because they cannot handle what it does to them mentally. It is not about socialization, it's about corporations monetizing your life. Whatever you say can and will be used against you. Physical appearance matters. Almost everyone is shallow, and if you are ugly, people might treat you as inferior and you will have disadvantages in almost every aspects of life, i.e. pretty privilege or halo effect. Look that up. As an ugly person I confirm. Failure is part of life. Some people will hurt you, and they won't care how you feel about it. You gotta walk your dogs. Just because you go out of your way for people, it doesn't mean they will do the same for you. Edit. I didn't expect this comment to get so many upvotes and replies as it has. Thank you for the awards too, Sparkling Heart, for those calling me out saying I shouldn't expect anything back or I'm selfish that I don't go out of my way to help others without expecting anything in return. That's not what my comment said. All I'm saying is, be careful who you drop everything for. Life is not automatically easier just because you're a good person. You can love someone with all of your heart and not be loved back in the same way. Bad things can happen to good people. Good things can happen to bad people. It's unfair. It's life. Not everyone likes you. It's a Star Trek reference, but it's a very realistic one. It is possible to make no mistake, and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. Sometimes you need to accept you did everything within your power right and it still went bad. And remember that this isn't something to beat yourself up over. These things happen. Edit. Holy hell, did blew up. I'm glad to see so many. I needed to hear this comments. I know I needed to hear this the first time I saw this scene. Celebrities and influencers need us more than we need them. Your first relationship most likely won't be your last. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to do it yourself. Just because someone is your family doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. Depression, an illness, a bad upbringing and many more. These are not excuses to treat people badly. If someone is nice to you, then these are not excuses to treat them like shit. And if you do, they are not required to forgive you. No one is required to give you a second chance. Sometimes you're the bad guy. Holy shit, this blew up. You can become disabled unexpectedly at any point in your life. Make sure you're taking advantage of the abilities you have while you have them. This one is both harsh and comforting. People don't think about you as much as you think they do. That means that your feelings might be ignored or not considered. People will forget things about you and might not remember things you've done together that were very memorable for you. That can be hard to realize. On the other hand, they probably don't remember that embarrassing thing you did in high school, or they don't care about it. They notice patterns of behaviors, more than occasional bad days that you have. So those times you feel bad about being off with someone, they probably don't think about them, unless they become frequent. Personally, I find that comforting. I thought I'd be happy when I graduated college, or when I got my first apartment, or when I bought my first home. Don't expect happiness to be at the finish line. Happiness comes from yourself, in the now. Enjoy the process. Nobody cares, so just go for it. Everyone's busy with themselves to pay too much attention to what you are doing. The probability of you making it as a professional gamer, streamer, YouTuber isn't worth quitting your job. You have a higher chance of getting hit by a car or winning $1 million lottery. Not saying give up. But be realistic. Keep a job that'll pay the bills while you try. Your trauma is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You don't have as many friends or family as you think. I have a chronic illness, and the number of people who bailed on me during my hardest times only to pop up, surprised I was upset with him, once I started healing, is truly disgusting. You've got a core few. Nurture those relationships like your life depends on it. Mine does. Danny, if you're spending 30 minutes every day in the shitty after lunch and still saying you shouldn't have had Taco Bell for lunch, maybe it's time to see a doctor, or stop going there for lunch. When you buy a pet, know that you are in all likelihood going to outlive them. You need to mentally prepare yourself for that inevitable day. Not everything is a lesson, Ryan. Sometimes you just fail. Life is not fair. Expecting it to be will always disappoint you. People will get special treatment for all kinds of things. It will never change. Not everyone has to shit themselves or hunch over in pain after consuming dairy. Those cramps, that gas, the shit is called lactose intolerant. Get Lactate or give up the Captain Crunch. Sometimes, you are the problem in a relationship. And if people keep on leaving you, it may well be your fault. Even if you don't feel like it is. Youth is wasted on the young. Before you know it, you're 40-50 wondering where the years giving a fuck what people think about you. Ask him her out. Start that business and jack in the job, your family, you love them even if you're in a feud with them. Etc. Eminem is 50 years old. Hard work won't guarantee a thing. But without it, you don't stand a chance. You can't get your time back. Stop wasting it. For most of us, work is a business transaction. You're trading your time for money. Your employer isn't your friend, father or mother. They owe you what they promised to give you in exchange for your time. That's it. If your work isn't fulfilling or making you happy, either spend your free time making yourself happy or work somewhere else. The few people who live in wealthiest countries in the world still struggle to find happiness. Stop wanting what other people have because it looks like it makes them happy. They aren't any happier or better than you because they have things. Finally, while these facts suck for most of us, the sooner you internalize them and shift your values, the better you will be. When it's over 1,000 comments, no one will upvote or read yours. Lol, edited. Glad I can bring some humor. It's awful, but it's mine. Lol. It's not your fault, but it's still your responsibility to deal with it. Applies to a whole lot of things in life. Brutal honesty without tact is just brutality. You're not being as helpful as you think you are by claiming to offer people harsh truths. Nothing lasts forever. The mass die-off of crabs off Alaska is a bigger deal than most realize. 90 population crash almost instantly. You can do everything right and still fail. You can be the best employee in company, but when illness comes like cancer, they will change you with fresh meat. Peace. Personal experience. 7 Okay, 85 of time I know that there is some good companies, but majority don't care about you. Business is business. Reddit isn't the world, and getting downvotes or upvotes amount to nothing. Also, your waifu isn't real. The good old days were rarely good days when they were young. Rose-colored glasses, nostalgia vision, whatever you want to call it, the good old days probably weren't as good as you're thinking. Looks play way more important role in life than people want to believe and accept. There will always be someone better than you at what you do best. There is no escaping death. You are replaceable. The world will not stop when you are gone. Reddit is very bad for mental health. Nobody wants to hear your music, either from your car or from your headphoneless phone. Opinions aren't facts. The world doesn't stop just because you do. At the end of the day, your problems are your own and the world doesn't care. That all animal life on this planet is going through a mass extinction. There is now 70 less today when comparing to 1970. And that it's caused by man. In a conversation, most people aren't really listening to you. They are focused on when they can say their piece. Chances are you are doing this too. Cheaters will succeed far more than people going by the book. A lot of success comes down to luck. People can work extremely hard, do everything right, be the most qualified best person, etc., and they get totally overlooked for someone else. A huge reason some people are winners and some people are losers is just straight up dumb fucking luck. When you've been married for 8 years and all of a sudden your wife wants an open marriage, it means she's already cheating on you but doesn't want to feel bad about it. You will never be rich enough to justify voting for trickle-down economics. Your luxuries are destroying our world. No one is special. We are all 3 generations away from being totally forgotten and the world will carry on after we die. The world does not owe you understanding. If you have traumas and mental health issues, it is not everyone else's job to tiptoe around you and tolerate bad behavior you refuse to address for yourself. Be nicer to your pets. Don't just let them sit in a cage or be home alone. Think it over once more if you have kids before you get a pet. Heart, boneless wings are just chicken nuggets.
I hope you all are doing well, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video. If you have something to say critically or otherwise, leave a comment. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to see more of it. I hope you all have wonderful and fulfilled lives.